Don't blink if you blink. Welcome to our show. My apologies, disgusting. And come on. Ooh, were you raised by pig? We're going to have a wonderful day on this 31st July 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy is feeling good. He's feeling great. And this is why we're going to go for episode number 4 or number 5. My apologies. I feel like I'm a new guy. I feel like I never did videos. Um, why are we doing that number 5? Well, because I have 22 minutes on the clock to do this review. So you guys are ready? We finished with number 5. Little precision about number 4. I feel like I was pretty rude with the idea of having funeral on the island. Hey, I apologize. Something that Sergeant Sawyer wouldn't say. So now what? We have in the middle 5. Okay, cool. Looking for the father, which I don't think I mentioned, but Jack started to see his father in that episode. I'm gonna try to put the phone, cause oh my god, this is cold. This is nice. I feel because we need to film the night sky. I feel so untouched right now. Need you so much somehow. Yeah, we're stuck in the 90s today. I don't know why. To me, this is actually kind of nice. This is kind of nice. The whole thing with the father, before we even start, because this is spirituality, it's a bit weird. It is Jack who sees his father, but his father is dead. To me, it's kind of nice. Why? It's all coming from the principle of John, saying that hey, if the island is worried about you, it will give you back. If you're looking for something, the island will give you back. For example, Charlie, the drunkie. I don't like Charlie. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, Mary. I like you in Lord of the Ring. I do not like you as a musician from Australia. I think the fact that you have to be from Australia, just saying. He's looking for his guitar. And then John is like, yo, give me your drugs, I'll give you your guitar. And it's like, okay. And he gives the drugs. And guess what? The island gave the guitar. Right? So, I think, why am I saying that? I think Jack came in the island burying his father. We have a lot of relationship between Jack and his father, and it's not great. I'm saying it twice because it's really not great. I feel like Jack came in the island looking for closure. That's not true. Jack didn't come to the island. Jack was on his way, and he wanted to. Bruno Mars. I know that he's parking here. So I guess we're doing a musical. Jack wanted the funeral of his father to be happening as soon as possible. And this is why it's important. This is really why it's important. He possibly didn't come to the island looking for it, but the island is going to find the answer. See, John, that episode was talking about what he was looking for. And the question of what you're looking for didn't really struck me as super important, but it is important. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons as to why, which is a couple of great reasons as to why. Great reason as to why, super simple. The first one is the fact that John said, hey, I was looking for spirituality, I came in looking for it. Early walking around asking people, what are you looking for? Oh no, asking, fuck, he didn't ask that. He asked that to John because John was saying, I found something. But the question itself, what were you looking for? And everybody in the islands are looking for something. Charlie was looking for an excuse to revive his career. Kate was looking for an escape of coming into peace with what she'd done, escaping the force. Sawyer, you see, Saeed, and a lot of questions. Saeed feels bad about what he's done in the past. The whole reason, this didn't happen yet. Sorry. Saeed feels bad about what happened in the past. And on this island, he has a chance to be peaceful. To not be the guy he was. That's pretty much it. So, the fact that Jack goes to his father is actually quite nice. Again, beautiful scene of where we see Jack. Now, in this, it's really cool. Because this is Kid Jack. There could be a reason, okay? This could be a reason as to It's odd because I don't think after 5 episodes you're aware of how people look. By example, and I'm going to be sounding extremely, I'm so sorry about what I'm going to say. John, you can tell who he is because he has a mark, right? Who else? Sun. This is where I'm cancelled for life. She's Korean, so her eyes are kind of different, so you can kind of tell, which is actually quite nice. I feel like this is important. Now, when you see the kid Jack, Kid Jack, you don't really know who it is. And when you see the kid, you say, okay, well, brown hair. There's a couple of people with brown hair, right? That was interesting. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and go with every single part of the show, the backstory, because I think it's better. So this part is actually super important. We got Jack as a kid who comes in and his friend is getting beat up. We don't even know if it's his friend. He's just a dude, and he's looking at Jack for help me. And then the bully tells him, "Hey, stay down. We won't hurt you. We just want to hurt him. You have a choice." And then Jack gets up and gets beat up. So then he goes to his father, and his father, he tells his father, "Yo, papa, papa." Papa is dad in French, but I like saying papa because I'm French. Oh shit. You're in a situation, bro. What is the situation? The situation is we're losing battery faster than we're getting batteries, so this is not good. However, I think that your boy, what's gonna do is he's gonna charge the phone without filming outside. I think that's good. Outside it's not gonna move. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. 6% batteries, that's not a lot. Does it matter if I close the phone? No, it doesn't matter. The phone loses battery, it doesn't matter at all. So the father of Jack tells him, "Hey, I gotta make choices. A lot of people depend on me, right? And a lot of people depend on me, and you wanna know why?" And he says his speech. And to be honest, the speech of his father is actually quite nice. He's an asshole, and the way he's talking to his son is actually quite nice. But it's a picture-perfect representation of his character. Personnage is in French also. I just went to my father's house. That's why we're taking in French. He's fucking French, that guy. My father. He comes in and he said, "Jack, I had to save people today. There's this little guy that I couldn't save. That's okay. You know why? Because if somebody was going to save it with me, I can do it. I'm the guy to do it." And I was like, "Jack, you know what? You got beat up. You couldn't do it. You weren't the one." So the father constantly tells him how much of a beneath him he is, and how he isn't like his father, and how much his father was better, right? Now, there's actually a really cool scene, which is going to be a spoiler, in the backstory of Sawyer. Sawyer meets the father of Jack in a bar, and the father of Jack tells him, "Yo, I love my son. My son is so great." And I'm going to be doing a huge spoiler. Jack's father has an alcohol problem. Because of that, he loses job as a surgical. But in this case, the problem is Jack has snitched. Jack saw his father was shaking. It's like, "Yo, he became drunk. This is the problem. He killed somebody." And he told the board, and the board was like, "Sorry, sir, you gotta go." Right? And his father, instead of being an asshole and saying, "I hate you," actually realized that his son was right. That his son was a better doctor than him. Because he wasn't corrupted by something, which was, in this case, alcohol. So that's pretty cool. The whole episode about Jack is actually quite sad. His mom, we have the backstory, so I'm going to try to check it out. Yeah, we're using the scenes. I'm a visual learner. If I learn anything, it's going to be visually speaking. So, yeah, there you go. We got the scene with his father. Yeah, we had the scene with his mom, and it's such a disgusting scene. He said, "Jack, you have to find your father." Now, the reality is we have a brother. Jack has a brother. We see later. His brother is also an alcoholic. Now, what isn't precise is if Jack is the older brother or the younger brother. Why is that important? Well, it's kind of important because if Jack is the firstborn, he could be in charge. So, I'm sorry to say, but in a lot of family, the firstborn as a dude is the patriarch of the family. So take care of shit. It's an old mentality, but it's still something that's going on nowadays. For example, I got 3 cousins. Well, they're brothers and sister, right? And the oldest is my cousin. She's a woman. And the father, my uncle, will often say, "Hey, Samuel, which is my cousin, you're in charge of here," when he's younger than my cousin. Because he's a dude, which is sad, but you know. So if Jack is in charge here, because he's the oldest, right? Oldest man, so he's supposed, the father replaced him. The best example that my father. My father was the oldest. My grandpa, this is a true story by the way. My grandfather was an alcoholic. He unalived himself. And my dad was the oldest. That sacrificed himself. He did a lot. He went to the city to get a job he didn't like, to send money back to home. And he was paying for school for my uncles. You know? So yeah, he became the man of the house. Anyway, that's pretty sad, huh? So his mom, like Jack, you're in charge. But his mom, she is. So this is also a problem. His mom is really mad at Jack because Jack told on his father. Now, the problem that we have here is we don't know that this happened. We get to know it later. His mom is like, "Oh, you did something wrong. We hate you." She doesn't say we hate you, but you can see it in her face. The actress, she has disdain, which is really well played. So Jack ends up being in a position where he's not liked. And we learn that his father, what he did and what happened with Jack. Now, the problem with that is we don't know if the father of Jack told his wife, "Yo, I got fired because I was drinking." So, if she is mad at Jack, is it because she didn't know her husband drinks? Or is it because, I don't know, you know? Was it justified what he did? Yes. But without justification, what he did was shitty. He told it on his own father, which is shitty. It was justified to do so. You know? So this is the importance of it. Next on the list we have we basically have Jack destroying the coffin. He destroyed the coffin. And this is possibly one of the saddest things ever. Because at first, you think his father hates him. His father is a shitty human being. He always been rough on Jack. He always been an asshole, right? Now, thanks to Sawyer, who met him in a bar in Australia, we know that Jack's father has some sort of regrets toward his son. He felt bad about it. So this was the closure that Jack needed. However, by the time that he had the closure, he destroyed the coffin. Just like Michael destroyed the comic that they possibly needed. Yeah? This is also something that's quite important. Now, we get to the real episode number 5. Looking for the father. So what is the description? Without sleep, Jack can't accept why he's on the island, which is burying his father. On his side, Boone is. This is so hard because I'm translating. Boone is left in the water. So the very first episode is sucky. It's very sucky. So Jack is sleeping, and they wake him up and say, "Yo, people are drowning." Right? I talked about this in the last episode. So, for example, the whole Boone is drowning and Jack decides to sail. So, yeah, I talked about this before. When I talked about this before, I'm going to do it a quick version. He's waking up, there's people drowning. There's 2 people, Boone's and another person. He saved Boone's because he was close to the reef and he had more chance of survival. Because of that, he feels like Boone it's a problem. So, see, this is important because Boone actually says really, 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 really important stuff. What Boone's gonna say? Boone is gonna say, "Jack, who made you boss here? Who put you in charge?" Now the reality is kind of the whole island. Did the island say, "Jack, you're a leader"? No. When there's a problem, Jack is the first person they consult, which makes him in a position of leadership. Not a leader, but in a position of leadership, right? They follow him. We're gonna see with John in this one. Boone also does something really bad. We realize how little water bottles there's left. There's 46 water bottles left, which is crazy, which is kind of insane. Why? Because No, I'm so sorry. There's like 18 bottles left, and there's 46 people. So then they're like, hey, when people are gonna know that there's no water, people are gonna freak out. Then a couple minutes later, the bottle of water gets stolen, and then John, which is right, says the following. He said, when people are gonna say that we don't have water, it's gonna get ugly. When people are gonna understand that water was stolen, it's gonna get uglier, which is the truth. So I thought that was really nice because then you learn that Boone stole it, right? Boone stole it. Why? Because he didn't feel like Jack was a good leader. Wanted to be the position of leadership. However, he's with Sharon. Sharon didn't care. So this is quite important. So now we have Kate. Kate is trying to help Jack. Jack feels like doesn't do enough. Now, in this episode, the doesn't do enough is important because the doesn't do enough, I'm not good enough, is the mentality by his father. His father constantly telling him you're not good enough, pushed him to believe that he wasn't good enough. You understand? It's preconceived notion. Self-doubt by no compliments. So Kate is like, yo, you did what you can, right? And it sucks. It sucks. So because that's not true. So then we have a cool scene between Michael and Walt. See, this, in my opinion, is a really cool scene because of the behind the scene. Behind the scene is Michael comes into his son and said, "What you're doing?" And then Walt is brushing his teeth. So son, she told him how to brush his teeth with a plant. So then his father's like, "What you doing?" Like, "I'm brushing my teeth." She showed me how. And then it's a beautiful scene because Michael mistrusts people because he wants to protect his son. His son will come in. Think about the Rick Grimes and the Carl Graham. Michael will kill everybody with the hand for Walt. So because his guard is so up, and Walt is able to be freelance, able to say, "Hey, how are you? Want to be friends?" And because he's able to say that, he becomes friend with son. He becomes friend with a lot of people. That's basically the gist of it. Next, we have the relationship between Sun and Jin. So Sun and Jin, the relationship is kind of hard. He tells her, "Hey, you're dirty. Go watch up. Look presentable." Now, this could be seen as him being fucking a douchebag, but I think it's to show. And I made a mistake yesterday. Because they're trying to picture him as an asshole. Do I think he's an asshole? I think Jin in this case. This is not Jin is an asshole. It's to portray a bad guy. Jin is the bad guy. Sun is the coolest, right? But the bigger picture here is that they have problem in a relationship. That's the biggest problem. Forget the rest. So we have the problem. We have fucking stupid shit. For example, Shannon, who comes in and is like, "Yo, I need some sun lotion," right? So this is comme ça. Claire comes in, and she talks about Kate and the relationship. So this is a cool moment because Claire, although what she says is not important, for example, the spirituality, the funeral became important when you saw it. Before you saw it, it was a concept, right? But then you realize that she's the only one that kept her free spirit. She's the only one that is still hopeful, you know? Claire character and her hopefulness is gonna be the last one to want to leave the beach, which is super important. What we have next? See, we're going good. Plus more of the backstory. We got Jack fighting with Boones, saying, "Why are you the leader?" Jack follows the vision of his father. Now, it's kind of insane, okay? Because there's two ways to see it. The vision of his father could be real, could be fake. So Jack is lacking sleep, which could lead to hallucination, which is specified in the show. They specify it, right? Now, nice. O2T Daniels, nice. Give me a sec. Good. Yep. Only that doesn't get an answer. Sorry about this. People are kind of shitty. You're there for people and you help them. And you don't care. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, so it could be seen. If you follow John mentality, John is saying the island's giving you something. Now, I'm in the mentality of the island special for sure, because I don't know the ending. I don't know. I don't know. So now we learn that there's not a lot of water left. We don't know what to do. We got Boone and Jack fighting again. Jack is following his father. Now, this is kind of nuts because we don't know if his father is there. Where's Said? So we learned that the water was stolen. So again, this is a sad part because the first that thinks that they accuse is, of course, freaking the accused Sawyer, which he was not guilty, which sucks. Because this could be a reason as to why Sawyer is a bad guy. Because you keep thinking I'm a bad guy, I'm gonna be a bad guy. I don't give a fuck, you know. What else? So Jack falls. John comes to save him. Now this is also important because John is always in the woods. Now he said he's hunting. You guys remember when he was hunting boar? But he's not hunting boar. So John is curious by the islands. So he goes on his own and say, yo, this island is mine, you know? Which is not because this is the reason why we don't know what is the island. We don't know what's going on. John knows, but we don't know what John knows. To me, that's a problem because give me a narrative, you know? It's kind of nuts. So then John and Jack becomes closer. Now this is also important because both John and Jack are going to become extremely important in season 2. They're both leader. They're going to discover something and they're going to push them to leader. John has a safe place. Jack doesn't trust John. So by not trusting John, he thinks that the place that is safe isn't safe, technically speaking. Why is that important? Because they're both leader and they're both kind of like, want to follow me or want to follow you. Now, ultimately speaking, the reason why they're not close is because John believed the island is special. And Jack's like, no, this is crazy, dude. Again, it's a question of who's right. There's a beautiful moment what John says. He said, you see, Jack, you're a woman of science. I'm a man of faith. So yeah. Also, the reason, I'm so sorry. The reason why they accuse Sawyer isn't because of that. The reason why they accuse Sawyer is because the Korean says, hey, give me the water. The reality is he traded for water. But before they ask him, where's your water? He didn't give him a chance, which is what I'm trying to say. We have John and Jack who are having a leader. They're having this talk. It was actually a really nice talk. He's like, what's going on, Jack? You don't seem to be doing too well. And Jack is like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, what do you need to know what to do? And Jack's like, they're looking at me for a leader. And say, what do you think that they're looking at you for a leader? You know? So it's actually two people that are talking. And this is possibly the most interesting talk of the show so far. Because it's a crazy concept. John, who's happy on the island, right? John, the reason why he doesn't want to leave the island, the real reason, he thinks that if he leaves the island, he'll lose his leg. That's the real reason. That is the real reason. Now, Jack, although he wants to leave the island, you understand that he's needed on the island. He had the mentality of a surgeon. He had the mentality of a doctor. So we have this vision of John being at the place that he needs. You need me in ER, I'll be in ER, emergency room. We have a beautiful scene where Jack sees his father dead. Why is that beautiful? Because Jack cries. The reason why Jack cries is because he loves his father. So if you didn't know how Jack felt about his father, was an asshole to him, he cried, which means he cared. I think it's important. What else? And it's also insane because Jack is led to a cave. Now this cave is insanely important. Insanely important. Insanely. This is it. This is for today. Oh no, we did pretty good. We did 25 minutes. Not bad, Ink. Not bad. Ooh, ice wave. That's what's up. So, at the ending, Jack hears noise, right? Which we think that the noise could be from the island itself. And the noise, by following it, see, this is what I like about Jack. He hears a noise. Most people run away. What Jack does, he takes a piece of wood that's in the fire because he has like a camp. He takes it and he goes in the wild. He finds a cave. The cave is where his father coffin is. So he destroyed the coffin because he doesn't like his father. Now, this is the craziest thing. The cave is where there's people. And this is beautiful. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but I'm going to talk about more tomorrow. They find a couple that have been dead for 60, 50, 60 years. That's what we think. Now, John is like, yo, this is our own Adam and Eve. Again, strengthening the fact that he believes that this island is a deity. Or, spiritually speaking, this is the answer to all of these questions. Jack finds a cave where two people were kind of buried. He just buried his father. How nice is that? And then he finds the water, the water from the things. And then he goes in and he's like, yo, Kate is like, yeah, we're 46 people. We're gonna have to move this water because it's kind of far from the camp. It's walking distance, but it's still kind of far. It's like, how many times do we have to go there every single day? And Jack says the following: don't lead the water to the people, lead the people to the water. So Jack comes into the camp and he says, hey, we found a place where there's clean water, it's a safer place. Now, what is kind of cool is Jack talks as a leader. This is very important as a moment. Very important, but very non-important. Very important, why? The neighbors are crazy. It's important because Jack the whole episode's like, I'm not a leader, I'm not a leader, I'm not a leader. And then when Jack comes back and says, listen to people, and everybody turns back and listen to him because he's their leader, they trust him. And he says, I found a place that's very safe, the cave. We have fresh water there, we could survive there. Now, the problem is, if we leave the beach, they won't find us. So the whole next episode is going to be about, do we stay on the beach or we leave in the cave? And that's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you guys sincerely. See you guys tomorrow for some more Lost. We're gonna go streams.